to turn now to John, who is now a free man because he's a citizen of the United States of America. He's Chinese, born in China. Family's still there. That's what we have to be very careful about how we present these guys. John, thank you very much for joining us on War and Pandemic. I'm finally glad to get you on. I'll stop my rants and let you finally have something to say. But tell people, what is it? Why is it so tough for people in China to confront the Chinese Communist Party?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Bannon. Yeah, thank you for having me on your show. By the way, the speech you just made like before the 11 o'clock is very powerful. And yes, it is getting very difficult, and actually it's more difficult for the Chinese people to confront the CCP. The fact is the Chinese Communist Party has controlled nearly all aspects of the economic, political, and the social life in China. The control is only getting tighter. So last year alone, the CCP spent $119 billion US on maintaining its social stability, public security, and harmonizing those who criticize or simply tell the truth against party's will. Okay, that is why the eye doctor Li Wenliang and other 7 heroes were silenced in December 2019 when the outbreak started in Wuhan, who simply share what they knew about the virus and its human-to-human transmission with friends and colleagues. So when the situation was out of control, the CCP decided to lock down the whole city. That means no information can get in and get out of the city. So everybody has to stay at home. And remember, during the Wuhan lockdown, the people of Wuhan, they were protesting from their balconies for lack of food and supplies, shouting out they are lies to the vice premier of China. And when she did a political show and visit the local community, okay, the CCP is always afraid letting people know the truth. Instead of trying to solve the social conflicts, it chose to cover up the problem and the truth. This time, the CCP hid the nature of this virus and held back the data and the information from telling its own people and the world. Now we have the global pandemic. Up to now, we have 2.7 million people are infected and 190,000 people died of this virus. Remember, this is not the first time CCP lied. I hope this will be the last time the CCP cover up the police brutality when cracking down the demonstration in Hong Kong, arresting dozens of thousands of protesters, killing thousands of freedom-loving young people, and really turning Hong Kong, a city once with rule of law and autonomy, into a police state. It did that when the CCP imprisoned 2 million Uyghurs and put up massive surveillance in Xinjiang and in Tibet. So the whole reason why the world can see or hear those fights from the Chinese people because the CCP's the Great Firewall. So it is the most extensive and sophisticated system in the whole world. It blocked the website content, monitor your internet access, use human and bots to spread CCP lies and fake news, even use it to demonize American values and democracy. So if we put that in a simple way, the CCP put up this firewall just because they're afraid of people of China tell the world the crimes the CCP committed against its own people and how evil they are. The firewall will also stop the world from telling the Chinese people what is actually going on in the world so that CCP can keep lying to its own people. Thank you, sir.
John, could you, John, I'd like you just to, we've got some time here. I want to ask you about this concept of the social credit score, this total electronic surveillance they have the Chinese people, and particularly go back to Dr. Li's story. They tortured him and forced him to sign a confession that he would admit to being a rumor monger. Walk us through how important was that and how bad is that in life in China if you're forced to do that?
Yes. So if the social credit system, it literally is this massive surveillance system. Right? They use all the system like Skynet, and they also use some other platform like the WeChat and also the QQ from the Tencent. They were the CCP surveillance tool to monitor your activity online, right? So once The police will track your activity, will find out who you are. They will knock your door and even call you to go to the police station to confess, to admit the crimes you made, simply telling the truth online. Okay, so the punishment can be very severe because once you sign the admonishment letter, right, now you are in the system. Okay, so what they can do is they can simply, deny your access to buy airline tickets, to buying train tickets. That means you cannot get out of your city. You are literally confined to your local. And by doing that, there's no way for you to get help. There's no way for you even to, spread the information to other people anymore. So this is how the evil and the powerful system is.
John, we got a couple minutes, so 2 minutes here. I want you to go through how can the American people, we have a big audience of deplorables. We are listened to by the political class and the hedge fund guys and the news producers, but our most important audience is the Trump base and quite frankly, a lot of the Bernie Sanders economic nationalists. What can the American people do to assist their brothers and sisters in China so that they can achieve their freedom?
Yes, sir. So as a matter of fact, the people in the West can do a lot of things to help, but I want to begin with the easiest one. That is, please do not trust any propaganda from the CCP, whether it's from domestic or from overseas, right? They are straight lies. The people in the West should ask one very simple question. If the CCP dictator regime doesn't treat its own citizens with any respect and any human dignity, why the people in the West expect themselves to be treated any differently? Second, we need more people from the West like you, Mr. Bannon. And your war room, your fantastic crew, Jack Maxey, Jason Miller, Rahim Kassam, who give the American the facts, the truth, and give Chinese people your support that bring them the hope. That is why the VOG, we translate your show every day. We add Chinese subtitles, put them on the GTV so the more folks from China get to know you and your great show. I also want to see that Chinese people are especially grateful to President Trump, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Peter Navarro, Senator Tom Cotton, and those who know this is not about Chinese people. So they are being tough to the CCP, making sure when this is over, CCP must be held accountable for this pandemic crisis. So lastly, I want to see is the most urgent thing above all for the West to do to help the Chinese people is to take down that firewall. As long as the wall is there, there will be no truth. The CCP keep using this firewall to demonize the American value and democracy. Tearing down that wall should be the key response from the West to take down the CCP. Thank you, sir.
John, thank you very much. You're a great patriot. You're a great patriot to your brothers and sisters in China where you were born, and you're a great patriot to the United States, which is the country that you've adopted. So we want to thank you very much for your heroism every day. Thank you very much for coming on.